So, you are looking to start playing New World. Well, you've come to the right place. We've collected, collated, and produced our top 6 beginner tips for getting started in Amazon's exciting entry into the MMORPG market, New World. Tip number 1 is all about leveling, and to watch out and gain an understanding of New World's unique leveling system, which makes use of levels, attribute points, and weapon masteries. It can be a bit jarring to jump into a new game, expecting it to work a little like other games that you play in that sphere, only to be confronted with a list of new mechanics and systems that are completely different. They aren't poorly constructed, just different, so let's take down that hurdle for you. Unlike traditional MMORPGs, where you level up your class, unlocking new powers and more impressive gear, New World takes an approach similar to single-player RPGs like Skyrim. There are no classes in New World, instead you level up your character. Experience for your character can be gained in a number of ways, so don't worry, you won't have to kill your millionth giant rat just to reach level 3. Despite once being a PvP-focused game, New World leans into the questing and crafting systems alongside combat to help you gather experience and level up. You can even reach the max level cap of 60 just doing PvE, just doing crafting or gathering, or by following the quest lines. As you gain levels, you will earn attribute points. Like traditional RPGs, you then add these points into one of the 5 available categories or stats: Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, Focus, and Constitution. Strength increases the damage of most melee weapons, while Dexterity increases the damage of all ranged weapons and covers a few of the melee weapons that weren't covered by Strength. Intelligence increases the damage of your magical attacks, but it won't help you with making smart decisions. I can't help you there, I'm sorry. Focus increases your mana regeneration and cooldown reduction of skills, so basically letting you do things more often, and Constitution gives you more health. Simple. As you level up, you want to focus your attribute point spending on your weapons of choice. Each weapon should tell you in a tooltip in-game which stat it bases its damage on. If you have an idea as to which weapon you want to play with, make sure you are pretty much maxing out its associated stat if you want to get out maximum damage or healing. I briefly mentioned weapon masteries earlier. They aren't strictly leveling, but they make up one part of this entire unique system, so let me throw in some bonus points for you here. You gain mastery points with a weapon as you use it, up to a maximum of 20. These points can be spent on the 38 masteries in the weapon skill tree, each branch of the tree having 19 options, so you have a fair amount of choice with how you want to skill up your weapon and which abilities you wish to unlock for each one. Now, if I can leave you with one single tip as a beginner working on your weapons and leveling in New World, it's this. Stick with your weapons. Weapons really come into their stride after about 10 or so mastery points, so if you aren't gelling with a weapon, see what it's like after a bit of time. Don't forget, you can also respec weapons and attributes early on, basically for free, so feel free to experiment with it. Alright, tip number 2. Make sure you do your quests. The initial quest chain unlocks so much of the world that skipping it and exploring or trying to farm up levels on enemy NPCs is a bit of a mistake. Now, I'm a big proponent for just having fun, so if you want to hack at skeletons for 3 days to get to level 5, be my guest. If that sounds fun, then congratulations, you're going to have fun. Don't let me or anyone else tell you what to do. However, if you're looking to play through New World and experience all that you can of the game, then you're going to want to start with your main questline, at least until you unlock your faction. At that point, the world opens a little more, you can get involved with PvP if you want, or you could divert into crafting and gathering, or you can continue with more PvE quests, gear up for dungeons. At that point, the New World is your oyster. Tip number 3, choosing the right armor. You'll notice I repeat myself here, but this isn't a traditional MMORPG. It just isn't. New World does a lot of things differently, and armor is one of them. In any other MMORPG, your sword and board user will be restricted to heavy plate armor, compounding on their defensive nature, while sacrificing their mobility. But not in New World. Armor types are unlocked for you to mix and match with any weapon combination that you wish. Because of this, each armor type has its own set of unique pros and cons. Now, there are extensive stats and ability changes that come with armor, but that will be a video entirely on its own. However, the basic rule of thumb is light armor is the fastest at dodging, but has the least damage reduction. Heavy armor has the most damage reduction, but has the slowest dodge, and medium armor is somewhere in the middle. So if you want to be a quick on your feet, lightly armored berserker with a giant axe, then go for it. Equally, if you want to be some sort of paladin wearing heavy armor but swapping between your sword and shield and your healing light staff, then you can absolutely just do that. So I guess the tip here is try out all the types and stick with whatever feels best for you. Tip number 4 is that PvP is not that dangerous, and it's actually pretty welcoming to all you new folks out there. New World was supposed to be a PvP focused MMORPG, at least when we first got to see it, but it has since evolved into a well-rounded PvX offering. That isn't to say that PvP has been removed though, there are still a huge number of ways to engage in it, from duels, sieges, outpost rush, some PvP quests, and open world PvP. Now some people will hear open world PvP and cower in fear. We've all stepped outside the RuneScape safe zone in our time just to be met with instant death. New World's open world PvP is an opt-in system. You can flag in the open world and then members from other factions can actively engage in combat with you, and vice versa. But why would you? Well, the winner is rewarded with items scaling in power depending on how long that fallen player was alive. But what about the loser? You're going to die often if you try and engage in PvP, especially if you're new to PvP or even new to MMORPGs. And dying in an MMORPG can often mean losing gold, items, or everything on your person. Well, you'll be happy to hear that dying in New World does not mean you drop your entire inventory, not even close. You lose some durability on equipment and you have to go back to a respawn location, but there isn't much of a penalty compared to other games like the newly released Crowfall or the in-development Ashes of Creation, which both have far more impactful, but also hurtful deaths. New World is a little friendlier to the loser, so if you aren't super confident with PvP, but you want to give it a go, New World is probably a safe bet for you. Tip number 5 is to choose a crafting profession before worrying about all of your other professions. Now, professions are New World's crafting system. There are 17 total professions, but they're split into 3 distinct categories: gathering, refining, and crafting itself. The crafting professions are weaponsmithing, armoring, engineering, jewel crafting, arcana, cooking, and furnishing. The refining professions are smelting, woodworking, leatherworking, weaving, and stonecutting. And lastly, the gathering professions are logging, mining, fishing, harvesting, tracking, and skinning. We recommend that if you see a crafting discipline you like early on, go for it. Each crafting profession will need to be supported by its own subsect of refining and gathering professions, so if you know what you want to craft at the top of your food chain, then you'll know which smaller fish you need to gather and refine. If you aren't sure on what to work on though, that's not a problem. We have a bonus tip for you too. Gathering professions are your best bet. All the other professions need materials, so you'll want to gather for them anyway, and the gathering profession is probably the most conducive to doing on the move, while you're out enjoying the world, engaging in all of the content that you can. You can come across a tree and take it down, or see a cute lake to fish in. You don't need a crafting setup with you there. So I'd recommend you pick up a gathering profession if you aren't sure. Just remember to upgrade your gathering tools as you level these professions. Your gathering speed with the base tools is just absolutely terrible. Please, please, please upgrade your tools. Lastly, tip number 6. Unlock your fast travel points. Please. Unless you have an unhealthy adoration of cardio, then you'll be fine, but otherwise, unlock them. Walking across a territory can take up to 15 minutes alone, and there are nearly a dozen territories in the game to explore. So travelling across this huge world on foot is a large undertaking. When you enter a new region, make the town's fast travel point the first stop every time. You absolutely need to do this. If you die and forgot to drop a campfire, you're going to be running on foot for another 10 to 20 minutes just to get back to where you were. So just do this. Fast travel costs a little Azoth, which drops as you kill enemies throughout the game, so you should have plenty of this to hand. You just have to have the points unlocked. I have another mini tip within 6 for you. While you're doing your early quests, if a quest takes you to one of the starting zones, Everfall, First Light, Monarch's Bluff, or Windswood, make sure you go there and get the travel point for that region. A lot of early quests will have you travelling regularly between these places, and it can really speed up your leveling at the beginning of the game. And, well, that concludes our beginner's guide for New World. I hope that it helps you dive in and enjoy the game. If you found the guide helpful, please do drop us a like or comment, and help make my day, why not? And subscribe if you want more content like this. There are even some similar videos on screen that you could check out. I've been Gamesplay Greg, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.